So thank you very much. I will be speaking tonight on building a successful career, and I think I call him my brother. He came for reaching out to me and giving me this topic. And when he said, "Oh, I want you to talk on this topic," I said, "Yes, I like this topic." Building a successful career. I like it. First, because success is as defined by you. Nobody defines success for anybody. You are the one that knows what success means to you. And two, because I believe everybody is entitled to a successful career. And when I look at my own journey, I don't do anything without God. God is my foundation. He's my source. I don't just say God in church. I bring God into my career. And I mean, two scriptures that come to mind is John 15:5, and in TPT version, it says, "I'm the sprouting vine and you are my branches. As you live in union with me as your source, fruitfulness will stream from within you. But when you live separated from me, you are powerless." A lot of people are actually powerless in their career because they have not plugged God into their career. And you know, when the scripture, John 15:5, is saying, "I'm the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit." Most times we think that much fruit is so winning. But fruitfulness is actually the first blessing God gave to man. When you look at when God formed man, he said, "Be fruitful and multiply." God is very particular about fruitfulness. And what fruitfulness means is that you are productive. That's it, that you are productive. And if you see people that don't have a fulfilling career are never satisfied. Something just, you just know something is missing. They're never happy. And that's why fruitfulness is important. And you can only be fruitful by being plugged into God, because it is God that will show you what you need to do and when, which place of work you need to be, what kind of job you need to take, what you need to do in your place of work that will make you differentiated and help you to be successful. Now, I'll give you two examples of how God has helped me. For example, I don't take any decision without asking God. There was a time when 2 years ago, precisely February 2023, I got a new job, and that job from a human mind was, this is the dream job I've been waiting for. But when I prayed about that offer, first of all, when I received the offer, they were paying me about 4 times my current pay, some part of the pay in USD. I was, really excited that yes, this is it. This is where I'm supposed to be. And then immediately I got the offer, I called my boss to say my goodbyes, to say, "Thank you. It's been nice working with you in the last 5 years. Now it's time for me to move on. This is my offer." My boss looked at the offer, was like, "Wow, this offer is unbelievable." And in my mind, I was looking at him, "Don't say I shouldn't go, because if I were your sister, will you ask me not to go with this big money that somebody wants to pay me?" And he had actually released me to go, and I had drafted my resignation letter. Of course, when I got the offer, I someone didn't have peace. So at night, I won't be able to sleep. And if you ask me, one of my hobbies is sleeping. I won't be able to sleep. I'll just be, restless. There was no peace. And then I'll wake up, I'll ask my husband that, why is it that somebody wants to pay me times four? I'm supposed to be happy. How come I've lost my peace? I'm not happy. I'm not myself. I just feel like this is danger looming. But nevertheless, I still continue the conversation with my then employer that I was going to leave. And then I drafted my resignation letter. And when I was going to send a resignation letter, I just couldn't. And I knew God didn't want me to go. And I cried for so many days that, "God, like, why would I see this wonderful offer and then you are restraining me, from growing? This just doesn't make sense." Even before I could tell my husband that, just to explain to him, even me, I felt foolish. Like, why would you find an offer like this and you say, you don't want to take it? But that is, one way that I've been able to plug myself into God. And you won't believe that 2 years after, then I was a senior manager. I was not even a director then. But 2 years, exactly 2 years after, I became a partner where I currently work. And the month that I became a partner, God told me that this is why I restrained you from going. And of course, even before then, I had seen a lot of reasons why God wanted me to stay. to summarize, what am I saying? When you are plugged in God, God is the only one that knows the future. You are so limited in your five senses, all right? But when you are plugged into God, He gives you, God leaks secrets. It will leak secrets to you. He will tell you what to do. He will give you wisdom. The second example of being plugged to God is when I started my career. I started my career in banking, and I was 4 years in banking, commercial bank really, and the bank had gone under, and the bank was taken over by another bank. And shortly after the new bank took over, I lost my job. And after 9 months, of serious searching, I then found a new job. But the new job came with I was living in Ibadan. That was in 2012. But the new job came with a condition precedent, because it's an asset management firm, that I'm supposed to bring a certain deposit from customers to show that, I had the business development skills. And unfortunately, the people that promised me the money couldn't deliver on the day I was supposed to pick my offer. So I was just stranded in Ibadan, asking myself, should I go? Because I don't have what they've asked me to bring. Should I go? Should I stay back in Ibadan and just count the opportunity as a loss? And then I decided to go. And you know what? That coming to Lagos that day, when I got to Lagos to the place where they wanted to employ me, I saw the MD at the reception, and I introduced myself. I said I was supposed to pick my employment letter on the condition of this, but unfortunately the people disappointed me, and I don't have up to the amount I thought I was going to have. And he told them to give me my offer. Imagine I did not leave Ibadan that day and come to Lagos. I would still be in Ibadan by now, because I would have lost the opportunity. So at every point in time, God always tells us what to do. And then he goes ahead of us to give us grace. So if you look at my second scripture, it says, but whatever I am now, it is all because God poured out his special favor on me, and not without result. For I have worked harder than any of the other apostles. Yet it was not I, but God was working through me by his grace. And here, this is Paul saying that I am what I am by the grace of God. But nonetheless, I worked harder than every other person. And that's exactly, my own story. If you work with me, I have very strong work ethics. I always give my everything to whatever I'm doing. So whether it is that I am working or I am playing, I am always, giving everything to it. And the way I live my life, which is something I want to encourage, I pray like I won't work. I pray like I will not work, and I work like I don't pray. So I don't substitute one for the other, ignoring prayer and leaving the work I need to do, or ignoring the work I need to do and just focus on praying. I do the same together. And what that does is that when you pray, when you recognize the grace of God in your life, the work you do is multiplied. That's just the story of my own life. Because one thing, let me give you an example. I became an associate partner. If you go and check all the big fours, nobody has matched my speed in terms of this promotion. It's never happened that somebody would just spend 1 year as a director and then gets, admitted into partnership. It's never happened. The average time is 5 years. And if I look at my own business, I would say maybe if I look at the trajectory of my practice, I would have said maybe in 10 years time, in 8 years time, it will be my turn. But what happens is when you pray, and let me tell you what I did when I became a director. I started making a confession. I wrote out a confession that I'm going to become a partner in 1 year. That although I've not seen anybody achieve that feat, and though my business doesn't look like they can admit a new partner, but I don't care what the environment is saying. This is what I want, and this is what I'm going to get. So your confession, all right, also matters. So now let me go into the main thing for today. What are the requirements for a successful career? There are two things. I call one internal, which is your genetics, and two, external, which is your behavior. And I'm going to dwell on the internal. there is a mindset of successful people. So if you go and look at everybody that is successful, or everybody that you think is successful in your environment, they have a particular mindset. And the reason is because everything that you want to achieve starts with your mind. So if your mind is able to conceive it, if your mind is able to see what you want to achieve, there's nothing that can stop you. You know, I learned this saying that throw your mind over the bar and your body will follow. I learned it many years ago, and I can assure you there's nothing I want to do in my life that I first of all conceptualize it, imagine it, put it as a vision, and then I actualize it. Since I joined my firm, you know, you know, of course, you know, I like to take pictures. I printed out a very beautiful picture of myself, and I put there, I called it Partner Olayinka, and I paste it on my wardrobe. So every morning and every night I'm dressing up, I'm seeing that image. So when you do that, the earth will produce for you what you have conceived in your mind. You know, most times, most of us don't believe in ourselves. You just don't believe you can achieve anything. And the truth is, Henry Ford said, he said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. Nobody can convince you of what you think about yourself. But what I want to encourage everybody to do today is to always believe in yourself. You see, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody can believe in you. Nobody can give you the opportunity that you think you so desire or you deserve. You have to be confident in your abilities. And then you have to also have what we call a growth mindset. Many of us don't like to fail. Me, failure is my middle name. And you know what? I grew up failing. And then I got to a point where I was no longer embarrassed by failure. So until you get to a place where you don't care whether you fail or you pass, then you're good. When I was growing up, I'm the first child and I'm the only girl in a family of 6. So I have me, the first child and the only girl, and then I have 3 brothers. Growing up, all my brothers are so smart, you know, so smart, so intelligent. I was the one that wasn't smart. So what do I mean I wasn't smart? Any exam I do, I always bang it. Banging means I always fail it. Common entrance, so failed. The only common entrance, you know, that I was able to pass to get into school was for public schools. All my brothers went to private schools. I went to a public school, not because my parents couldn't afford it, but because I couldn't pass the examination, right? So even when I wrote the common entrance in GSS1 so that I could change to a private school, I still failed the exam. When I was in GSS2, because my results were so bad, like it's always less than 50. When I was in secondary school, I was in GS2. Then my mom took me to an evening lesson, we call it lesson, where so that they can help me to improve, you know, my scores in school and all. And then when I got to the lesson, after the first day, the proprietor called my mom and said, this is your daughter. We are putting her in GS1 in this lesson. She can't be in GS2 because she doesn't have the intellectual capacity to be in GS2. And then the man goes off to say, okay, 7 times 8, what is it? I was in GS2, I didn't know the answer. It's not like I just didn't know the answer. I was just clueless. And I ended up being in GS1 in the lesson. So imagine you are in secondary school, you are in GSS2, and then you're in GSS1 with your juniors in school. What other level of embarrassment would you expect to have? So I had been, you know, like embarrassed. When I finished my secondary school, I couldn't pass JAM. And not being able to pass JAM meant I was sitting at home. I sat at home for 3 years until my younger brother finished school, met me, you know, graduated from secondary school. I'm 2 years older, graduated from secondary school, and we were both at home. Out of the frustration of God, what kind of life is this? Why am I this? You know, I started writing ATS, you know, ATS then, which is a foundation classes for being a chartered accountant. And then I started, you know, writing, got serious, and then, you know, step by step, I was able to then earn my being a chartered accountant. But you know what those failures over time from being a child to a teenager helped me to do was to develop what I call resilience. If you ask me, I think my greatest strength is resilience, is grit. I never, I've seen myself from being a below average primary and secondary student to being a prize winner in ICAN. Yes, I didn't even remember that. So after I started ICAN, guess what? In ATS2, I just got a letter from ICAN that I won a prize. It was my first prize ever, first prize ever in my life, and it was a national honor. And you know what? When I got the letter, I showed my father the letter. My father was like, are you sure they didn't make mistake? I said, Daddy, even me, I think they must have made a mistake. Because think about it. How come this girl has never got a prize? Primary school, never got a prize in secondary school. And when she's going to get the first recognition in her life that, okay, she's even there, she gets a prize from ICAN. We all know how difficult ICAN exams are. And I got a prize. So what that had helped me to do is to develop a growth mindset. When I started writing my CFA exams, right, a lot of people, will write the exam once and drop it because they don't pass. Me, my own is until I pass the exam, I'm not going to leave you. When others take the exams and they pass, let's say in 18 months, it's a three-stage exam. Some people pass in 18 months. I have a lot of colleagues and friends that just write the exams and pass once, and they are just done. And then I have some group of people also that they will write the exam once and drop it because why? They have never used to failing. But me, because we are used to failing, we fail, we do it again. I took my CFA exams, took me 5 years of my life to finish. And my mind was, what kept me going was, I don't believe there's anything I want to do that I can't do. It might take long, it might be longer than necessary, but I can always achieve it. So grit and resilience, for anybody that wants to build a successful career, you have to be resilient. You have to be somebody that doesn't give up. If you don't give up on things, then you will definitely be able to win. And most times, most of us also confuse a bend for an end. But what I've realized is that most times when I have, downturns in my career, there are always opportunities for me to rebound, to grow. For example, when I lost my job, instead of, acting victim and blaming everybody, I used that opportunity to get a career switch. I was just like, okay, what's the next best thing I can get out from this opportunity? That's because, most times we always have an idea of, oh, this is the way my life should go. But God is looking at you and saying, I have better things for you. You are just working in your own, but until I collect this thing from you, you will not see the road in which I've prepared. Though that loss of job was probably the most challenging period of my career, even up till now, but it was the one I'm most grateful about. I'm so grateful that they sacked me from that job. Like every time I think about it, I'm just saying, God, thank you, they sacked me. Because if they had not, I won't be here. I won't be speaking to you. I won't be where I am. I won't be in Lagos. I won't even be in Lagos. And I would have actually lost a great opportunity to become what God had in mind for me. Lastly, the kind of winning mindset, you must have focus and drive. See, this life, anything you invest, you get back. When I was writing my CFA exams, I wrote my CFA exams. I started with having one child, and I ended up, I started with, when I wrote my first level, I had a child. When I wrote my second level, they became 2 children. When I wrote my third level, they became 3 children. So I was a full-time employee. I am a mother and I am a wife. So imagine my responsibility. And what I used to do, let me tell you, there's no shortcut to success. You got to work for it. And you see what Paul said. He said, even though there's grace of God upon me, but I still worked. What I do is I wake up 2 a.m. every morning. 2 a.m. was my wake up time. And then I will read from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. every day, every time. In fact, for like 9 months out of 12 months in a year, because I usually prepare for 9 months for the exam. Go and check it out. CFA is one of the most difficult exams in the world. And I was combining with many things, family, career, but I had to do it. I had to be focused and I had to pay the price for it. So when you see me today, people go on LinkedIn, they see me today, and you see, oh, she's a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants. She's an associate member of Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers. She's a charter holder of the CFA Institute. I worked for it. I paid the price for it. I worked for it. And when it's on weekends, I would wake up 4 a.m., do 4 a.m. to 10, maybe take a break, and then at least every Saturday and Sunday, I did a minimum of 10 hours. 10 hours on Saturday, 10 hours on Sundays. And then during the week, I did 3 hours. Why? Because the CFA exam, there were a lot of materials you need to read, thousands of pages. There was a lot of work that needed to be done. Why did I do that? I didn't have to do it, But I did that because I wanted to distinguish myself. You see, I see my career, is my calling. I see my career as a platform to shine the light of God. And if I'm going to shine the light of God, I have to shine that light with excellence. And that's my driving force. To say, God, this career, I want to use my career to win souls for Christ. And people will be like, wow, somebody achieved this, somebody did this. Everything is to the glory of God, because that's actually what God has called for us to do. So I've talked about the internal, the genetics of successful people. Now let me talk about the behaviors for a successful career. See, if you want a successful career, you can't behave anyhow. You have to be very intentional. And the first thing is being responsible for your career. Don't think that it's HR that is responsible for your career. Don't think it's HR. If HR does not send me for training, I'm not going on training. No, you have to take your career as the CEO. You know what CEOs do? They plan, they manage teams, they take strategic decisions. And that's what can help you, all right, build the kind of behavior that you want to build a successful career. So first thing first, if you want to be successful, you have to know what success means to you. And that was where I started from. You have to ask yourself, when will I think that I would say, yes, I have fulfilled what I am called to do? When will I say, yes, I am successful? This is success for me. You have to know where you are going. You see, some of us, we just wake up and you're going to work, no ambition, no plan, there's nothing driving you. Nothing is driving you. You just go to work, you just think, okay, let me just appear today, let me appear tomorrow. But man, you can't live your life that way. You can't live your career that way. You have to have a goal and have a plan towards the goal. Now, let me give you the reason why this is important. If you don't know where you are going, you'll just be running other people's vision for them. If you don't know what you want to achieve, every destination will be your destination. You'll just be turned here, there, and there. And one thing, that thing that we say, my 5-year plan, my 10-year plan, my 20-year plan, whatever plan it is you have, is not foul. It's everything that you do every day. You know what? When I became a partner, somebody told me, and that thing, resonated so much with me. She said, because as a partner, my headache is not the same headache as when I was a director. It's not the same. And she said, every day you need to ask yourself, everything I've done today, how many people's salary can I pay? Because otherwise, you will just find out that you are just doing things anyhow. You will not be focused. And you remember when I was talking about internal, the genetics, focus and drive, it is. Some of us, we're always distracted. You don't even know what you want. You don't know where you are going. And early on, because of my own foundation of, failing, when I started ICAN, I just had a mindset shift and I just started, became very serious and very focused. When I met my husband, I met him in my first semester in part 1. And if he wants to see me, I will tell him when in class to see me. And I'll just give him, I'll say, time for you is 10 minutes. because I'm reading. I read throughout because yes, I was writing ICAN and I finished from OAU, if you know OAU. OAU, if you fail in OAU, you read failing. It's a very difficult school. So I had a lot of things on my plate. And from the outset, from the day he met me, right? He met me writing ATS2, second stage of ICAN. No, yeah, I was just going to write ATS2, second stage of ICAN. And when I met him, I was just giving him plans of, I want to be a career woman. I want to do this. I want to do that. Do you know one day he called me, said, you don't even talk like a woman. You will never say, I want to get married. I want to have 3 children. I want to have 4 children. You're always saying, oh, when I finish, this is where I want to work. This is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. Blah, 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 blah. And that's because in my head, I was already very clear. And then he said, one day he thought about it that, will I be able to cope with this ambitious girl? Will I be able to cope with her drive? And he said, okay. I said, yes, I can cope with this girl's drive. And that's how, today we are together. But what am I saying? The reason why it's important for you to know where you are going is so that the people that will jump the train with you are people that actually want to go where you are going. He met me writing ATS2. After that, I've written 2 other professional exams more difficult than the ICAN that I started with. And it was easy. Why? Easier for me to canvass his support. Why? Because he already knew that, this is this girl's plan. The plan was, vision was right, made plain. Other behaviors I want you to take note of is the fact that there's nobody that is a self-made success. So if you see anybody saying, oh, today I'm successful and I'm only successful because I'm just bright like that, I'm just a genius, I'm a star girl, it's a lie. Oh. Nobody makes themselves a success. You are a success because other people have supported you. And that's why you have to be very deliberate in building your network, both within your organization and outside the organization, and making sure that you are networking. You just have to do it. You have to be very deliberate with the relationship. You see this platform that you have, this Entrepreneurs Foundation of TCMI, don't take it for granted because you don't know when those relationships will be useful for you. I am very deliberate with building relationships, and honestly, most of the people that I know today, I know from, by being deliberate. So let me give us examples. I've talked about, in a way, I've talked about your first important decision. Honestly, if you are not married and you want to build a successful career, the first important decision is who you choose to marry. Because the person you choose to marry can either make or break you. I can tell you for free that I am where I am today because of God, and the second person is my husband. If I didn't have the support of my husband, the sacrifices he made for me, no, I won't be here. I won't be successful. He's my backbone. Remember, I told you I was writing a difficult exam for 5 years. I had young children. He's the one that will say, oh, let me take these kids out so that you can have time to read. He would say, okay, so which chapter are you now? You're still on this chapter 10. You should have finished, though. You should be on chapter 11 by now. What are you doing? Please, you have to. Even now, as a partner, do you know what this guy asked me today? He said, okay, your new financial year is coming. Okay, so have you identified where you are going to be able to meet your targets? Is involved. You need people like that in your life. You can't do life alone. And there are days when I will come and rant. There are days you just want to rant. This person did this to me. I'm so angry. In fact, I'm resigning now. I'm just tired. I'm just this. Calm down. You need somebody in your space that will be telling you to calm down. Beyond your life partner, whoever you choose to be your accountability partner, you also need your colleagues, your bosses. Some of us, you do good to your bosses, you do wrong to your colleagues. You are not going to go anywhere. You have to be an all-rounder, managing relationships, managing your clients as well, because it is your clients that will give you those good ratings, those good feedback. You need your colleagues as well. Do you know me? I'm very deliberate. Even the cleaners in my office, they are my friends. I invite them to my house. It's not like they have, I need anything from them. But I just believe that there's nobody that is not important. You know, we hear about, that people entertain angels unawares. You see, in this your career journey, you do not know the person God wants to use for you. You don't know who that person is, and you have to be very deliberate. Do you know it could be the driver of your boss that will decide whether you'll be promoted or not? Do you know drivers have a lot of information? Let me tell you how it will just play out. Your boss will just be on the call saying, Dele, how are you? You know, today at the office, I was just thinking, I don't know whether we should promote Bola or Dele. I don't know which of them we should promote. What do you think? The other person on the line will say, let me think about it. I'll call you back. And then the driver of the bus, as he's going to, will say, okay, sorry. I know you were not talking to me, but I heard your conversation. I just want to advise you, please, it's Bola you should promote. That Bola, she greets everybody. She's nice to everybody. She's kind to everybody. She has something, okay? She's a good person, Sha. That's all I just want to say. Let me tell you, that's what your boss will do. So some of you, you'll be looking at the person, security will say, security, what can you do for me? You don't know what they can do for you. So I hope I've been able to trash that. Then, in terms of external behavior, you have to be very strategic. I've talked a bit about taking certifications. When I started CFA, I actually did not have any business starting CFA. I could have just said, oh, I have ICAN, I have CIS, that's fine. But no, I said everything that would make me to be a global financial analyst, I'm going to take it. Whatever it is that will make me to be a global financial analyst, whatever certification, and that was my drive. So what am I saying? You have to stay curious. You have to be committed to learning. See, if you're an accountant and you see some CVs, I see some CVs, and then I'll see you read accounting in school, you are looking for accounting job. 6 years after, you have not finished your ICAN. To me, it tells me something. It tells a lot about you, because you can't say you want to be an accountant or an auditor and you are not taking the right professional qualifications. And it's not just acquiring certifications though, because we see some people acquiring certifications, they don't apply it into their work. You also have to be able to apply what you have learned in your work. They must see it. You must be known for something. Secondly, you must also be consistently excellent. What distinguished Daniel from the magicians and astrologers was the wisdom God gave him, because he was excellent. And when you read about Daniel, you say Daniel said, I understood by books. What does that mean? The guy is always reading. Some of us, we don't read. We are always doing something else. If you want to be different, you have to be a problem solver. People should be coming to you to say, Olayinka, this is our challenge. I know you are the only one that can solve it. You are the only one that can help us. That's the life of somebody that wants to excel. And that's also the light of somebody that wants to shine the light of Christ in the marketplace. Thirdly, I'm saying choose experience over money. At this stage of your life, at this stage of your career, everybody is at that stage of their career where what you should be focusing on is building, sowing, absorbing, being hungry, getting as much experience as you can. See, anywhere you are, don't think that I'm working for them. It's not my daddy's business. It's them I'm working for. You're not working for anybody. You are working for yourself, because the skills that you get from that place of employment, the mistakes you make on somebody else's platform, they are for you, to build you. So don't chase money. Any job that you are doing, anywhere you are working, just be asking yourself, what am I learning? If you're in a place where you are not learning, where you are just getting money, what it means is that you are reaping before you are sowing. And the way life is, you must always, is what you sow that you reap. So it just means that you are going to be truncating the kind of cashing out you can get from your career in future. Then I'll talk about soft skills. As a leader, I would rather bring someone that has a good attitude, that is teachable, that is trainable, that is collaborative, that is emotionally intelligent. and training than bringing somebody that just all we have is technical skills and then bad attitude. Because technical skills with bad attitude is bad news, you know. So as you are growing in your career, you have to learn to be a leader. Leadership is not that they give you title, they make you HOD. That's not leadership. Leadership is that you are able to impact. Leadership is that you are able to create influence. People are, you can be leading your boss. Leading your boss means that your boss cannot do anything without calling you and saying, hey, Aminat, what do you think? Hey, Temi, what do you think? That's leadership. So how do you get that leadership? You have to, as you are building your technical skills, you should also be building your soft skills. Begin to learn how to communicate. Anybody that does not know how to communicate, you can't get the best out of life. Do you know why I started teaching? I started teaching because I wanted to improve my communication skills. Basically, that was it. I said, okay, I wanted to teach, because if you are going to teach and explain something to someone, then you must be able to talk. Next category of behaviors, diligence and hard work. You know, sometimes I'll hear work smart, not work hard. I don't know what smart working is. So my own is sharp that. Don't let them say you are lazy. Either mental laziness or whatever. Make sure that anytime anybody gives you something to do, they are rest assured that this person will deliver. You know, when I used to before I grew in my career, when I was like, say, a manager, when I give somebody a report, I see that report, I see what is going with that report as my reputation. I will see it as I'm sending this report to my brand as Olayinka is following this report, and the person will be judging me that is this a good quality work? When I send out something that I've done it, I always make sure that I have done my best on it, so that I am relieving the person that gave me the work, the stress. Because, you know, as leaders, we are looking for people that, you know, reliable, people that can support. You know, not that they will give you something to do. You just see, well, you know, some people, when they send you something, you just say like, this person is so lazy. This person did not even put in any effort into what we've asked him to do. Next, I talked about visibility. My dears, be visible. Don't go anywhere. Just your work does not talk. You know, people will say, don't worry, my work will speak for you. Their work cannot speak for you. Their work does not talk. Even if your work talks, office politics will not let them see it. So you have to be able to package your achievements. I have a log where I write my achievements. And when I'm appraising myself at the end of the year, I will put, I achieved this, I did that. Even things that are not official, I'll say I led the team to do this, I did that. Or just find ways to make sure that you are seen. And then I forgot something when I was talking about relationship building. You have to be deliberate with how you build relationship across board. You know, most times, I mean, men are very good with relationship building. They go out to drink. When they say, let's go out, my ladies will say, I can't go. Hey, my children are at home. I can't go. Today is the day I say I want to wash my clothes. If anybody is saying that let's go out, me, I'm the first person that will get there. I will wash the clothes later. Because you have to be seen. You have to be deliberate. Some of us, you have LinkedIn accounts. I'm sure you never posted good morning on that LinkedIn. You've never posted anything. You've never shared, I was at this conference. This is what I learned. This is who I met. Those things, don't think people are just doing it because they like LinkedIn. No, they are doing it because they want to be seen. You want to be unforgettable. You want to be memorable. You want to be in people's faces. Remember what I said? We will. You have to be very intentional. We will walk like we don't pray, and we will pray like we don't walk. You know, when I'm checking my time. I think I have just 2 minutes to go. So let me begin to round off. But let me tell you something about being intentional. When I knew that I was going to become an associate partner, I flew for places to affiliate myself, so that when the announcement is made, day to day will announce it. And that's how to do things. Like, you don't just do things like, You have to be street smart. I also talk about paying fine attention to details. See, people, first of all, judge you based on how you look before they wait to hear what you want to say. Before I would say, listen to you that Olayinka is really intelligent. They would have assessed you. When they meet you, they will look at you top to bottom. So what's my advice? As you are investing in yourself, reading books, getting your professional qualifications, also invest in your wardrobe. Don't just appear like, oh, you are not you're not well groomed. Be well groomed, wear nice clothes, smell nice. That even also boosts your own confidence. I also talked about asking for feedback. See, when you work with people, always ask them for feedback. I always ask my bosses for feedback and say, okay, what did I do well? What do you think I can do better? Because really, everybody is a work in progress. Some of us, we don't like anybody to tell you, these are the areas of improvement. You keep malice with them. But if they don't give you areas where you need to improve, you just keep growing in that ignorance. Also, always identify your strengths and play to your strength. Everybody has their strengths. Honestly, everybody has their strength. Some people, their strength is relationship building and networking. They just have the charisma. Some people, their strength is in their intelligence. They are just so they have very high IQ. Some people, their strength is in organizing. Whatever it is your strength, just make sure that you use it very well and you use it to create visibility for yourself. Now, talking about work ethics, please, if you're a member of this group, don't be saying, this is not my JD, I can't do this thing. Do you know what I've learned? Some of the things I've learned today, I learned by volunteering. I learned a lot about leadership by being a member of the Covenant community groups. I learned how to make, direct and produce content by being a member of Covenant community groups. Learn to write scripts. You might say, how does script writing have to do with my profession? Maybe I'm an accountant or a marketer or anything. Honestly, you don't know that. You transfer those skills to other areas of your life. By being in Covenant community groups, I've learned to be a better communicator. I've learned to overcome stage fright, because when pastor would just send me a message to say, I want you to talk about Covenant community groups at Wolfbeck. Hey, I thought I could run away from it. What did I do? Just say, go, just help me. There was this year I had my first appearance at TV on channels, and because of the economic outlook that we did for the CEOs group. And you know what? One of my bosses called me, said, you did very fantastic. I know your secrets. So he just said, I know your secrets. I said, secrets. I said, what do you mean by I know your secrets? I said, which secrets? He said, it's all these things that you do. All these volunteering things. Some of us, they will say, come and lead a group. You say, I can't lead though. Even me, I need to be led. It is in those, volunteering activities that you actually, in fact, that's when you actually find yourself. I'm telling you, you find the talent that God has embedded in you that you did not even know that you had. Act like a partner. I've mentioned this before. Please, at your place of work, take ownership. If they give you something to do, let everybody be rest assured that, if it is with this person, if it is with Jane, we are sure that she would do it. Be responsive. Some people, 5 p.m. you cannot get them again, and you say you want to build a successful career. Hey, are you joking? You say, no, my official time, what I signed on my letter is 8 to 5. They will do what they signed on their letter for you. They won't